Good morning. I am Raja K, Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, K.S.Rangasamy College of Technology. Today, in this video, I am going to discuss about CA engine open combustion chamber. So, before getting to the open combustion chamber CA engine, first of all, we should know what are the happen during the four-stroke of the IC engine. During the intake stroke, the piston is moved from top dead center to the bottom dead center, the downward movement, the inlet valve was opened at the time. The air from the atmosphere is get into the cylinder, inside the cylinder. So it will circulated here. Then after that, the second stroke is a compression stroke. On the compression stroke, the piston is moved from bottom dead center to the top dead center, the upward movement. The air inside the cylinder get compressed and the temperature and the pressure of the air is goes on increasing. Before the piston reaches the top dead center, the fuel is injected from the injector at a high pressure. The injection of fuel makes the fuel into the atomization, then it mixes with the air and then oxidation is happened and the flame is formed and the heat energy is released. So this is called the combustion. Then the combustion is happening, the heat energy makes the pistons move downward, that is called the power stroke. That power is used to run the vehicle. Then after the power stroke, then it is called the exhaust stroke. The piston is moved from the bottom dead center to the top dead center. The exhaust valve opened and the exhaust gases moved to the atmosphere through the silencer pipe. This is happening when the engine is running. So first of all, we should know what is the combustion chamber. The combustion chamber is an area inside an engine where the combustion of fuel takes place. Combustion is burning of the air-fuel mixture. So air-fuel mixture is burnt, that is in that area. This area is very much important because when you are designing the engine, that is called the cylinder, piston, cylinder head, valve, inlet valve and the valve port, because this is the main parameter considerations when on designing the combustion chamber. So what are the design consideration of the combustion chamber? So the best design makes the high thermal efficiency. The high thermal efficiency makes the heat energy converted into the mechanical energy. So that is the main thing. So the fuel consumption goes on reducing and get high power. Another thing, we can able to use multiple fuels. That is the another parameter of designing the combustion chamber, because we can have a number of alternate fuels. We don't need to design a different engine for different fuels. The single engine is enough to run all kind of fuel. That is the important thing. Next thing is easy of starting, because when you are designing on the combustion chamber, it can start at very cold condition also. It can easily to start without any external aid. So that is parameter also consider when you are designing the combustion chamber. Another thing, it can able to produce variable speed at variable requirement condition. So engine is dynamically able to give the variable speed. Second thing, more smooth of operation. When on running on the diesel engine, we can able to hear the noise and the sound and vibrations. That to be avoided when we are designing a proper combustion chamber. Another important thing is emission. The emission, complete combustion have to be taken place. If the combustion efficiency is increased, the complete combustion can take place. It will reduces the exhaust emission. It will reduces the pollutant. And final thing, high volumetric efficiency. The air can get into the cylinder without any obstacles. So it will reaches the maximum volumetric efficiency. So these points are consideration when on designing of the combustion chamber. So when on designing the combustion chamber, the swirl is a very important parameter. From the diagram itself, you can understand the red color line denoted the motion of air from the inlet port into the inside the cylinder, because the air is not a static. The air is moved because of the natural designing of the inlet port makes the air into swirling motions inside the combustion chamber. So the rotation motion of air within the cylinder is called the swirl. So this diagrammatic clearly explains this is the motion of air. The air is motioned in the swirl inside the cylinder. Why the need of air to be motion inside the cylinder? Because it's to be motion of air makes the mixing of fuel is very effectively. So the air fuel ratio or homogeneous condition is needed for complete combustion. The complete combustion makes the low exhaust emission and the high thermal efficiency. So the mixing parameter can be happened very quickly when the air on the swirling motions. Another needed of the swirling motion means when the flame is started, because of the swirling motion of the air, the flame can be traveled to the all area of the combustion chamber, so that within the shorter duration time the complete combustion is taken places. We will get high thermal efficiency, high power output and low exhaust emission. So the swirling of air is a very important parameter when on designing the combustion chamber. So how the swirl can happen? Because when you want to make it the swirl, we have to make it some designing consideration. First thing, the designing of the inlet port. So when you designing this inlet port is like the tangential way. So when the air is move on the tangential way, it will hit the cylinder. So then the hit motion of the cylinder makes the air to swirl inside the combustion chamber. This is the one of the way of creating the swirl. This kind of swirl come under the category of induction swirl. So induction swirl is nothing but by directing the flow of air during its entry to the cylinder is known as induction swirl. This method is used in the open combustion chamber design. This is the one of the method. Second method is there is a construction of the intake system that we already saw in that diagram itself. The construction itself of the inlet port makes the swirl inside the combustion chamber. Another way of creating the swirl is masking one side of the inlet wall, because you know that on the suction stroke the air is get through the inlet port and the inlet wall. When you are creating the mask, there is some restriction so that the air is admitted only around the periphery of the valve and in the desired direction. Because of the mask, the air can be able to rotate over the valve and then get into the combustion chamber. It will create the swirl. This is one of the method of creating the swirl, and also casting a lip over one side of the inlet valve. So this kind of lip will also created because this kind of extra projections makes the air to divert in the rotary directions, so it will rotated inside the combustion chamber. These are called the induction swirl. This induction swirl is used in the open combustion chamber. So generally induction swirl, open or direct combustion chamber design, that is what are the condition is there. The cylinder head is flat. So the flat cylinder head on the diagram you can see the cylinder head, it is flat. Another thing, there is a cavity in the piston crown. So on the diagram you can understand here in the cut section you can see there is a toroidal cavity, it is there on the piston crown. Piston crown is nothing but the top of the piston. So you can also see there is a hemispherical cavity on the top of the piston, toroidal cavity on the top of the piston, because this kind of cavity created a swirling motions inside the cylinder. Another thing, the fuel is directly injected to piston hole. So the fuel, when you are starting the injection is happened inside the combustion chamber. So that is another condition. The using of injector is mostly multiple hole can be used. The single hole is used only on some special conditions only. So for open combustion chamber, we have to remember the three important point. There is a cavity on the piston crown. Then the cylinder head is flat. We have to use the multiple hole injector. So these are all the things to be needed when considered when you are designing the open combustion chamber. Second, the type of open combustion chamber. First type is shallow, low swivel open combustion chamber. From the word you can understand that the low swivel means the rotation of air inside the combustion chamber is very low. Why? Because the design, because we are using a injector with the multiple hole. For example, here we are using usually 6 or more, which provided a multiple spray pattern. Here you look that the injector is placed in the middle and there is a multiple hole here. So the spray of injector, spray of fuel, it will reaches all sides of the engine inside the engine. So the mainly the combustion chamber depend upon the injection system, not on the swivel system. But also here there is some little bit swivel is happened inside the combustion chamber. That will not help to makes the mixing of fuels with the air. So normally this kind of shape and this kind of design is used for large size engine and the low speed running. So if the engine sizes is large, the speed of the engine is low, because after that these conditions makes the fuel is injected on the longer duration of the time, so it can reaches the air in at a stipulated time period, and also the air is also supplied more than that required. So these conditions makes the engine is starting easier, because here the thermal efficiency is high, because when the swivel is low the heat losses is also low, and also the knocking is not taken places. So here the thermal efficiency is high, the starting is relatively easier. So the shallow depth center piston is also shown on the diagram. Another one is called the toroidal medium swivel open combustion chamber. The diagram itself we can understand that here we can achieve the medium kind of swivel. Okay, so the fuel injector is placed in the middle because of the designing of the inlet pole, and there is a mask or lid in the inlet valves, makes the air get into the cylinder in the tangential way, and it causes the rotary motion inside the cylinder. So this medium swivel will make the fuel mix with the air quickly. So there is no needed of maximum number of holes and for injecting the fuel. Here the engine sizes is medium and also the speed is also a medium speed. On that conditions, the medium size engine and the medium speed, we can go for a toroidal combustion chamber. So this is the thing. As a result, the injected fuel need help in finding sufficient air in a shorter time. So because here the speed is increases, the time of injection is reduced. So within the stipulated time, the fuel is mixed with the air. So we needed a medium swivel condition is needed, so that the swirling actions makes the mixing of fuel with the air quickly at a stipulated time of period. The swirling action can be happened because of the designing of the inlet port, and there is a lid or mask on the inlet valve makes the swirling actions inside the combustion chamber. So this is called the medium swivel open combustion chamber or toroidal combustion chamber. Next one, it is called the spherical high swivel combustion chamber, because here we are using a single point injector. So and the fuel is injected only at the single point, and in which conditions we are using this shape of the combustion chamber is small sized engine, so that the engine speed is maximum, so the time duration for the mixing of fuel with the air is minimum. So we needed a high swivel condition is needed in order to get the proper mixing of fuel with the air. This can be achieved by using a spiral intake port produces a high speed rotary air motion in the cylinder during the induction zone. We can see on the top view the air is rotated inside the combustion chamber with the ice fill, so that it will mix the air with the fuel, and also because of that spherical shape combustion chamber makes the air can be rotated in the shorter area durations, so it will assist the mixing of fuel with the air and the complete combustion can be take places. So the single screw spray is injected from the pintle nozzle, and the air spill in the spherically shaped combustion chamber is quite high. So because of this air spill, so if the fuel is injected in a single hole nozzle, it properly mixed with the fuel, and we will proper combustions can be taken places. This shape of combustion chamber is used for small sized engine and the high engine speed. This is the type of combustion chamber is used. So the open combustion chamber is mostly having a three type. One is called low spill, that is called the spherical combustion chamber. Another one is called medium spill, that is called the toroidal combustion chamber. Third one is called the spherical, that is called the high spill combustion chamber. So thanks for watching this video. I hope this video will give you enough knowledge about the CA engine open combustion chamber. Keep learning and growing. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you. Good day.